Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, a channel about making computer role-playing games using the free program Twine and the Sugarcube format for Twine. We've been working with tile-based environments in the last few videos, and in the last video I showed you this little setup where we have this character and they're in a small environment, and when we press these buttons north, south, west and east, the character moves in the respective direction and the camera, as it were, moves with them, revealing a different part of the environment. But if you saw that video, you might have noticed that it shows the same graphic for the character regardless of which direction they're going in. And that's not normally how it works. Normally they have different graphics for which direction the character is going in. So if you move them to the left, the character will seem to turn, so they're facing to the left, and if they move to the right, they'll be facing to the right, and so on. Well, I've changed it so that that does happen, and I'll just briefly demonstrate that. So if we go north, she's sort of facing away from us, and if we move this way, she's facing this way. If we move this way, she turns around. And if we move back south, that's the same graphic as we were using for everything before. And so on. The rest of the program is the same. The buttons still disappear when there's no direction. The button still disappears if you can't move in that direction. The environment's still the same, and so on. So that's what it looks like, and now I will show you the code that allows you to do this. And it's actually quite straightforward. You do need, of course, to make more graphics, or at least to get more graphics from somewhere. But normally when you go to a site like OpenGameArt, when you have character pictures, they will have graphics of the character facing in all directions because they know that that's something that you're going to need. So it's not like you need to get a character and then sort of hand do it in the other directions. It's standard to have a sheet with the character, and then they'll have all of the different directions. But you do need to prepare those graphics. And what I did is, this graphic is called character S. Basically, it used to be that this graphic, or actually this graphic, the one with the character sort of facing forward, was called character.png, and of course we only needed one of them. Well, now we need four, and I've decided to call them character N, character S, character W, and character E.png, each one referring to the direction that the player moved in last. So if the character moves west, well, that displays character W. If they move north, that displays character N.png, and so on. So you have to prepare those in, well, I use GIMP, but once you've got those ready and uploaded, you only really need to make a couple of changes to the code. So let's get into the code and have a look. So the first thing, the only changes are in these two screens. The first changes are on the buttons that are links. So I'll show you one of them, and it's basically the same for all four of the buttons. This is the button that is to go north. So we have an image command, and we have the most complicated sort of image command, an image that is a link. So we have square bracket img, square bracket the picture, or we have the picture with square bracket and then the location and name of the file, and square bracket which page this link is going to. It's going back to the same page. And finally, we have what variables do we change. when we go back to that page, or when we go to whatever page we're going to. And we already had cy to cy plus 1, because, of course, if you move north, well, the way you represent moving north mathematically is you change the character's y coordinate, you increase it by 1. And then now we've got a new change, and you have to separate all these changes by semicolons. We have $D to character, or to quote, lowercase n quote. And then we have n square bracket, n square bracket. So we have a new variable, which is $D, which stands, of course, for direction. So actually there is I was slightly wrong, there is an actual change in this page. We start by setting $D to S, because that going south picture is the sort of default one, or the starting one, because it's the one where the character is sort of facing the camera, as it were, and is full faced on. Okay, so going back to display, we set $D to N, and then, of course, with all the other buttons, we have a similar addition. So $D to quote W, quote, $D to quote E, quote, $D to quote S, quote. And there should be a $D to quote N, quote somewhere as well. Oh, there's one there. So there's one for each of the 4 directions in which you can move. And then what do we do with that $D? Well, we do in main display, when we get to the code that's to do with displaying the graphic representing the character. And I'll just get to the relevant bit. It's source equals art slash, it used to be source equals art slash character.png, but now you can see it's art slash character plus $D plus .png. So it'll be art slash character S, or character E, or character W, or character N. And so every time you move in any direction, it will set $D to the appropriate direction, and therefore it will know when it's time to print the picture of the character. It'll go to the art folder and then go slash, all right, I want character E.png, or whatever it may be, and it will display that, and that way the character will be facing the way that they're moving. And so that is how you do that. So I hope that was useful or interesting to at least some of you, and I hope you will tune in next time.